guys, so it's Vlogust day 29 and today I'm doing my AskFleur video about confidence. Now I tweeted last week asking you guys if you had any questions about confidence. I wanted to do something that was slightly back to school specific because I feel like it's that kind of time of year and I thought confidence was a great one because the number one thing I think you need for back to school is confidence. Now, I'm filming this on my iPad, so I'm not entirely sure how it's going to work out. I apologise for the lack of good quality. Normally, my AskFleur videos are filmed with my HD camera, but I am currently exporting footage from it because I have to try and upload all of my missing Vlogust videos before we head off to Portugal this afternoon. So, they should be on the way as I speak now, which will be after I put this up, so it kind of doesn't make sense. Anyway, on to the questions. So, number one from Lippy and Mascara on Twitter says, how do you gain confidence when surrounded by gorgeous and successful people? It is difficult sometimes. If your friends are, get more attention than you, if they are more successful in their work, at school, if guys like them more, it can be a little bit difficult to... or it can kind of knock your confidence a little bit. But I think what you've got to remember in that kind of situation is what you bring to the table, why you're different, why you're special, and not necessarily compare yourself to others as much, as you can. Like, it's impossible. You can't be, nobody's perfect, and nobody, you don't want to be somebody else. Like, you want to be an individual, and you need to remember why your friends are friends with you, why you're surrounded by these kind of gorgeous, successful people who obviously like you if they're your friends. So you have to kind of remember that everybody is individual. Everybody is going to have their strengths and their weaknesses. You might not have the longest legs, you might not have the best looking boyfriend, whatever, but at the end of the day, like, you have some great qualities that other people don't. So, individuals are all different and you can't kind of compare yourself to others too much. The next question is beauty related and it comes from Rodart Rebel on Twitter asking, I often get shy wearing bold lipstick out. Do you have any tips for being more confident with lip colour? I definitely do, because I used to be really self-conscious when it came to wearing bright lipstick, like really bad. And over the years, I found that I've got more confident wearing it. I think the trick is to kind of introduce yourself slowly. So maybe start by buying a bright lipstick, but using it kind of dabbed on the lips instead of just straight out matte bright colour. You can do that, or you can also try making the rest of your makeup really neutral. So try, say, wearing no eyeshadow, just eyeliner and mascara. Obviously, like, foundation, if you want to wear that, is kind of different, but no other colour on your face apart from the lipstick, and it can look really great. And it also makes it a lot easier to wear because it doesn't look kind of too much. Apart from that, try wearing it around the house first. When I find it is more scary actually wearing bright colours, like when you're out and about. If you try wearing them at home first, you kind of get a bit more used to seeing yourself wearing them, and therefore will get a little bit more confident wearing them. So number 3 is from Cherry on the Cake on Twitter, and she asks, have you always been confident, or is it something that you've learnt? I wouldn't say I am 100% the most confident person in the world, but confidence is definitely something that has grown for me with time. When I was a teenager, I wasn't like half as confident as I am now. I think it's just something that you learn how to deal with, like self-confidence issues. You kind of learn how to deal with them as you get older. I guess through your experiences in your life, say if something knocks your confidence, you kind of learn how to get over it, and it can be difficult. And really, like, there are various tips that I can give you, like, try and like realize the positives in life and things like that. But at the end of the day, a lot of it is down to experience, and sometimes you do have to be knocked to get back up again. So I haven't always been the most confident, but I definitely have grown in confidence. And I would say if you are feeling self-conscious and kind of not very confident in your teens, it's probably something that will diminish with time as you get older, especially in terms of actually confidence in social situations. Telephoning people. I used to be terrified of telephoning people for some reason, and now it's just a non-issue. I think the more you do something, the more you expose yourself to something in social situations, then eventually it's going to become easy and it's going to become an everyday thing. Okay, so number 4, This kind of links into it. Makeup for Biochem on Twitter asks, how much more confident have you become in real life social situations since starting YouTube? And this is a good question because YouTube has definitely given me a lot of confidence, both in terms of my real life and also in terms of kind of YouTube related things. When you're on YouTube, you're exposed to a lot of people, obviously, and you're also exposed to potential criticism, which is never nice, but definitely getting constructive criticism from people does help to build your confidence in a way, because the more you learn to deal with it, the more confident you are in yourself, and the more you learn to either ignore like negative criticism, which is not constructive at all. It's good to be able to ignore it, but also it's good to be able to learn how to take constructive criticism and use it wisely, and it also helps to build your confidence when you do that, because, you know, if you are doing something better, or if you learn to make a change to something that you're doing because of a criticism that someone's given you, then that is just a measure of confidence in itself, because you have to be confident, I think, to be able to take on criticism, say, okay, I'll accept that, and change something. Like, I think that takes confidence to do that. So YouTube's definitely helped me in terms of that and being able to deal with that in my real life. Also, another thing, through YouTube, I've actually attended quite a lot of events. For example, like the Edinburgh TV Festival that I attended last week. I would never have been able to go up on a panel and speak in front of loads of people in a basically lecture theatre before I started YouTube. It would have absolutely terrified me. But now, I mean, I got a little bit nervous before I went on, but it was mainly kind of butterflies. I was more kind of excited about meeting people and actually answering the questions. I wasn't actually nervous about being there at all. I wasn't nervous about meeting the people I was on the panel with. And I think that is something that definitely changes with YouTube. Putting yourself out there for the world, sorry about the jittering, Woofy's moving around. Putting yourself out there for the world is definitely a daunting prospect, but it seriously can majorly help with your confidence in terms of real life. And it's definitely something that I advocate. If you're a little bit shy and you're scared of doing YouTube, just jump in and do it, and it will seriously, from my experience anyway, it's made me much more confident in real life. Okay, so the final question comes from Louisa HM26, and she asks, how do you think you can have the confidence to be different? For example, everyone thinks it's weird that I don't drink, and this is actually an interesting one, not drinking. Personally, I'm inclined to say if somebody thinks you're weird for not doing something or doing something that you disagree with or agree with, like not drinking or not smoking, me personally, I'm inclined to just tell them to shove it, because I am like that. But if you are a little bit younger, I understand when you're a teenager, it sometimes can be really hard with peer pressure, and especially with drinking and smoking. Sometimes people are like, oh, you're not cool because you're not doing it. And I've always been a little bit kind of stubborn especially when it comes to smoking, because I've always been avidly anti-smoking, even when all my friends thought it was really cool when we were like 15 and they were like, yeah, I'm having a cigarette, and kind of, don't you want one? And I'm like, no, gross, kind of thing. I've always been quite strong-willed when it comes to that. But in terms of building your confidence to avoid situations like that and to stop people thinking that it's weird, I definitely think you just have to prove yourself as being equally as fun, equally as nice a person when you don't do that. And a great example of somebody who does this amazingly well is Jim, my friend Tanya's boyfriend, who's Jimmy Bobber on YouTube. He doesn't drink, but he still remains to be a really fun person to hang out with. If you go out for drinks with him or for dinner with him, or if you go out to a bar, whatever, he is still a really fun guy to hang around with. And the fact that he's not drinking, like, you don't even notice. So I think the whole thing, if you don't make a point of it and you don't kind of preach to people, I think it's definitely good to defend yourself and to be able to, like, say if people are mocking you for not doing it. I think it's good to be kind of confident in yourself to say, because I disagree with it. But don't make a huge thing of it. Don't be like, oh, look down on other people for choosing to do it. This is more of a kind of like moral thing rather than having confidence. But in terms of gaining confidence to be able to do that, I just think you really have to have belief in yourself that your decisions are the best for you. And you also have to just remember that, like, you can't let other people dictate what you do to your life, especially when it comes to things like drinking and smoking, which can be really unhealthy for you. So if you're going to let somebody kind of effectively bully you into doing something that you don't want to do and that is bad for your body, then that's really bad of them. And to be honest, you don't want to be friends with them if they're going to do that, because it's not a cool thing to do. That was a roundabout like answer to your question. I'm really sorry it's not more direct. It's a difficult topic, but I hope you guys have enjoyed this Ask Fleur video. I'm about to jet off on the aeroplane to Portugal now, but I will see you there tomorrow, and let me know if you have any more suggestions for Ask Fleur videos in the future, and I will see you next time.